But today, I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Same us for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'll never stop it.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Unscripted here on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. I'm your host and producer this evening, Logan Landers, and joining me, as always, Jay McLovin. How you doing, my friend? How was your week?
My week was great. And I'm going to tell you why I closed to home. But it's been a great week so far, Logan. It's been great.
Glad to hear, Jay. Glad to hear, as always. And, of course, our fans out there, we appreciate y'all for tuning in each and every single week. Of course, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. On Facebook, that's going to be at the Elite Sport Entertainment Network. Pretty easy to find there. ESZN Network on X, ESZN Network 2023. That's going to be on TikTok as well as on Twitch and on YouTube. Just type this in, Elite Sports Entertainment Network. Easy to find. We appreciate all of the followers we've been getting lately, all the comments. It's been a fun time. And we're just going to keep on rocking. And as Jay mentioned, he's got a lot to say in his Close to Home segment. He's a very happy man right now, and we'll get right into it. It's time to go close to home. All right, Jay, you know how this works now. It's your time to talk about your teams. And for some reason, Jay, I don't think this is going to be about, the Houston Rockets. I don't think it's going to be about the Astros. I think it's going to be about maybe some cattle and maybe some guys who herd some cattle. So go ahead and talk about your love of Dallas and Houston teams and also just represent Texas as a whole. The floor is yours.
Yeah, baby. Let's go ahead and kick it off with the Texas Longhorns. As you know, they started out in the top 4 when the season began. They slipped down to number 9 when they lost to Oklahoma, and they crawled their way all the way back to number 3. And now we will be playing Washington, it looks like, and Georgia will be playing – or no, excuse me, not Georgia. I can't say Georgia, Logan. I'm sorry, my bad. So I think it's going to be Alabama versus Michigan. So we got some really good stuff. I'm just glad to see that the Longhorns have made it back into it. And I got to tell you, Logan, I'm feeling pretty good about these Longhorns that we possibly could win that the playoffs. I really do think that, man. We beat Alabama, so I'm not really too worried about them. Michigan, I think that's going to be the one to look out for. I'm not worried about Washington because Washington's defense is horrible, and I think we're going to exploit that. So I fully expect to see a lot from this Texas Longhorns as we get ready to get into this college playoffs. Real quick into the Rockets. I'm going to transition right over there real quick. We still currently hold the 10th spot. We got an 8-9 record. We are currently out of the play-in tournament. We didn't make the quarterfinals, unfortunately. We did lose to the Lakers, and they got us out of it. Logan, the only downside I'm saying to Udoka right now and the Rockets is we just have not won on the road. Since this season began, we are still winless on the road. All of our wins have come at home, and that is kind of a concern for me. The one bright spot with the Rockets is Sagoon. He is the star of our team. He is averaging 21 points and 9 rebounds, but he's shooting 54% from the line, and that's one bright spot for the Rockets. Also, one thing I do like about the Rockets is we're shooting just under 50% from the field as a team. We're shooting about 35% from the three-point line, and we're averaging about 12 to it, or so we're averaging about 35% from the three-point line. I don't know why I'm saying that, but anyway, so the Rockets, by far, we're doing much better than we did last year, but there's still a lot left to be improved upon. I don't know that we make it into the playoffs this year. I still think we're not quite good enough to keep that stretch going, but we are definitely better than last place, which is where we were last year. So I'll take that as a sign of improvement, if you will. Amen Thompson is still on the injured list, but has started non-contact drills. So hopefully we'll get him back before the end of the year. Our next game is Wednesday versus the 13-6 Thunder. That should be pretty good. It is at home, so hopefully we can get that win and get back to 500. Moving on to the Astros real quick. There's been a lot of chatter about the Astros possibly trying to trade third baseman Alex Bregman, and Dana Brown came out today and said that is not the case. He is a pillar of the team, and we plan to keep him. And I do think he gets a contract extension next year as his contract does come to an end. That $100 million contract comes to an end. So keep that in mind. The last one I want to talk about real quick is the Dallas Cowboys. We are 9-3. The Eagles are 10-2. And guess what, Logan? It ain't over yet, baby. All we got to do, we play the Eagles this coming Sunday. And if we beat the Eagles, then we go into a tie for first place because the Eagles beat us the first time. If we beat them the second time, it'll be a 1-1, which means we'll be 100% tied with the Eagles. And then it'll come down, obviously, to the following Sunday after that as to who takes the division from there. But it's amazing. The division could be on the line. I think it will be on the line, and I think we will go from there. Next week, like I said, we got the Eagles, and we are on a 14-game home winning streak. I say that to say this. We play the Eagles at home, and we're on a 14-game win streak. And honestly, we played the Eagles extremely hard. We did come away with a loss in Philly, but we almost took that game from them in their home crowd. So keep that in mind. Again, we beat Seattle 41-35. I think Dallas did not do a good enough job on the defensive end as we gave up 35 points. But what we did do well is on the defensive side was we stopped the run. We only gave up 72 yards rushing. So even though we gave up a lot in the passing game, we didn't give up a lot in the run game. So I'll take that, and we'll take it we're taking it to the Eagles next week. Hopefully we can keep Swift under control and then try to get pressure applied to Hurts. But really one thing I want to talk about mostly is Dak Prescott. You know, Dak Prescott has taken a lot of beatings over the last few years about not being an elite quarterback, kind of being this, kind of being that. But I got to tell you, Logan, he's only got 6 interceptions throughout the year, 6. And last time I checked, Patrick Mahomes has like 9 or 10. So put that in perspective. Also, I will tell you this: he had 300 yards passing last week against the Seahawks, and he only had 3 touchdowns, but he had 0 interceptions. So I just want to say this: Dak Prescott is on the rise, and you got to look at what Bland is doing. Bland, if you don't know, has an NFL record of 5 pick sixes, and last week against the Seahawks, he picked up another interception. It wasn't a pick six, but he picked up another interception. And even though Trey Diggs did go down, Bland has stepped up in an incredible way, and I wouldn't be surprised if Diggs has a hard time making it back in the starting lineup as well as Bland is playing. I think it's going to be a little bit of a battle there at the quarterback position. Maybe Stephon Gilmore next year could be the odd man out, and they put Trayvon Diggs at the other side. Who knows? Either way, this defense under Dan Quinn is performing extremely well. We didn't get Shaq Leonard to beef up our linebacking core, but I do like what we got going on right now, and I do think it's going to come to fruition as we get closer. Now, I am still not 100% on the bandwagon of, we're Super Bowl bound, but I do think that we make the playoffs, and I do think we're still in contention for the division, and then from there we'll see what happens. We still got to get past the first round, Logan. We have yet to get past the first round in the playoffs, and that's something that we have to work on. Can Mike McCarthy call the plays get us there? Who knows? But we'll certainly find out. And that's what I got from close to home from Jay McLovin.
All right, Jay, well said. For my segment, we'll start with college football since you started yours with college football. Georgia had the very, very close loss, 3-point loss to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Their first loss, Jay, in I think it was like 800 days almost. It's been a long time. It's been a very long time. It's been over 2 years. But like I said last week whenever we did previews of the game, it was going to be a tough one. I believe, Georgia winning 35-28 or something along those lines. Wasn't as high-scoring affair, but still a good game nonetheless. And Alabama proved that, Georgia has been on top in recent years, but Alabama's still kicking, right? They're still there, and they're still a super talented program, as they have been for the last 15-plus seasons. So they'll be playing against Florida State. We'll talk more about all of that in a separate video, talking about the college football playoff Final Four and how that selection went, if they got it right, if they got it wrong. So stay tuned for that. The Braves, Jay, they made some moves earlier in the week. They made a trade with the Seattle Mariners, gave up 2 farm pitchers in exchange for Jared Kelenic, who's an outfielder who's struggled at times, is still a young guy hoping to maybe break out with a change of scenery. Sometimes that can help a guy. They also got Marco Gonzalez, who's a pitcher. Went 4-1 last year, but only pitched in 50 innings before he had a nerve injury that ended his season. They also got a first baseman who's going to be looks like a farm player. When I was doing my research on him, Jay, the dude won a Gold Glove back in 2020. So if that's a testament to how wild that season was for all the sports, I think that's a prime example right there. Yeah, so I mean, Kelenic is it's a low risk, or high reward type of deal. Someone who's going to take over for Eddie Rosario, where he was let go. So he'll take that spot. Hopefully he can have a better season in Atlanta. For Gonzalez, I've seen reports they might not keep him. I'm not sure about that yet. Obviously, he'll be a back of the bullpen in more the 3 to 5 starter role. Like I said, coming off an injury too, not sure how that could play out. But yeah, so the Braves did that. I'm still seeing, Jay, they're in the Shohei sweepstakes. So who knows what could happen there? Fingers crossed. Moving on to basketball, the Hawks just they can score some points. They just can't stop a traffic cone. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Trae Young's having another great season, 27 and I believe 10, 27 points per game. I believe that's right outside the top 10 in the league. And then there's, I believe, 10 assists per game. That's second, only behind Halliburton. So he's having another great season offensively again. Just needs some work on the team, and I've been saying that for feels like forever now. But other than that, it's been good. The Raiders were off this past week. They'll be back in action in Week 14. They'll be taking on the Minnesota Vikings at home. So we'll see if we can get some mojo going again, get back on the winning side of things after dropping a few here recently. But yeah, that's about it for my teams. A little sad, but it's just makes you look forward to next season even more. And college football is almost over. It's went by really quick, it feels like.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun, man. Also, I just saw here as I was kind of looking around, the Hall of Fame, Jay. They're going to honor the Negro Leagues with an East and West All-Star game. So according to ESPN here, where I'm seeing the article, the traditional format of the Negro Leagues East-West All-Star game will be revived in the spring when the National Baseball Hall of Fame hosts a tribute to the one-time fixture with a Legends exhibition in Cooperstown, New York. Looks like Hall of Famers Ken Griffey Jr., Ozzie Smith will help manage and coach the squads. Serving as team captains will be CeCe Sabathia and outfielder Chris Young. So that'll be pretty cool. Nice little celebration. And glad to see that they are highlighting Negro Leagues as we've done here over the past few years. So glad to see that. Well, Jay, let's get right into it. We have, of course, our Thursday night football for Week 14 game preview. It's so strange to say this, the lowly 2-10 New England Patriots now, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And joining us to talk about this game in perfect timing, Stack Guy Dustin Reese. First off, Dustin, how are you doing this afternoon, my friend?
Good. My daughter just came home sick. That's why I popped in late.
Well, we hope she gets better soon. Be sure to have your chicken noodle soup and your orange juice on deck. So, Dustin, we just got kicked over here. I'll give it to Jay first and foremost. Jay, give your thoughts on Thursday Night Football. Of course, 8:15 kickoff on Amazon Prime. Between, unfortunately, our friend Frankie the Yankees, Foxborough Frankie C's, just rough New England Patriots who couldn't get a point last week, going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers who, since firing back Canada, their offenses looked a heck of a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think this is just another loss for the New England Patriots, to be honest with you. Zappy, he could be a little bit of a step up from Mac Jones, but I think Trubisky will step in and do a decent enough job to get past this New England defense. Again, obviously, Pickett I think he's out completely. I think he's going to have a surgery for that high ankle sprain that he took in. So, one thing about Pittsburgh is that I still, even though they did a good enough job last week or last go around with Pickens, getting him more involved in the offense, I think Pickens is, for whatever reason, is always the odd man out, even though he's the best wide receiver, in my opinion, that they have. So I still would like to see the Pittsburgh Steelers do a better job of getting George Pickens involved in that offense. But again, which quarterback can move the ball the best between Zappy and Trubisky will be the details. But yeah, man, I always wonder, the more and more that these Patriots continue to lose, will this be Bill Belichick's nails in the coffin that he could be out as a head coach? I don't know for sure on that, but it sure as hell ain't looking good for him, Logan. But honestly, with Ray Stevenson not being that, which is their best running back, out also with the ankle sprain as well. I just don't think the Patriots have enough in the tank to do anything at this point. And I think it's going to be another embarrassing loss. And I think the Steelers are going to take them pretty handedly. I'm going to say 28-13 in favor of the Steelers.
All right, Dustin, do you have a similar result with this one?
I mean, if anybody thought a 6-0 game between the Chargers and the Patriots was ugly last weekend, this game has the potential to be equally as bad, if not worse. I mean, the Patriots are pretty much done in the water at this point. It's more so, are they going to be bad enough to get the number one pick, or is Carolina going to hold on to the number one pick? Well, Pittsburgh is in the middle of the playoff hunt. They're still a wild card team, but it's going to hinge now on how long Kenny Pickett is hurt. The longer he's out, the less likely it is that Pittsburgh can make the playoffs, but they do have a lot of winnable games left on their schedule, with this being one of them. Mitchell Trubisky can play terrible, and there's a good chance that he is going to play terrible because New England does have a very good defense, and that's kind of the only thing that saves the Patriots in a lot of games right now is that defense. But even when Mitchell Trubisky plays terrible, it's still better than what Mac Jones can do, and that's kind of a sad statement at this point. What Jay was saying with Belichick's job being in jeopardy and things like that, I think he gets one more year. And I think it's mainly predicated on if New England drafts a quarterback in the draft. If they draft a quarterback and give Bill Belichick a quarterback, I think they give him 1 year with that quarterback to see what's going to happen. And essentially, I think Josh McDaniels ends up back in New England anyways as the play caller. And for whatever reason, New England just does better when Josh McDaniels is there. So I think Belichick has 1 more year before you really start to hear the days of him being numbered in New England. I think their struggles continue. I like Pittsburgh to win this game. I think it's going to be 13-7. I just think it's going to be another low-scoring, boring type of game just because neither quarterback is that great. Neither offense is that great. And, yeah, it's just going to be a good old-fashioned 13-7 slugfest.
What a letdown this game is compared to the wonderful Thursday night game we had this previous week. My gosh. I'm with y'all. New England is a tricky team because in the last 3 games, they've allowed under, I believe it was 10 points in all 3 of theirs, but yet they've lost all 3. So I think it's safe to say the defense is doing a bang-up job. I mean, they only gave up 6 points this past week to the Chargers. But my God, that offense is ice cold, just like the weather out there in New England. Ain't nothing going on there, dude. Mac Jones, oh, man, it ain't looking hot for the former Alabama alum. Bailey Zappi, I mean, look, if he does well, it's a nice story. If he doesn't, he was a higher round draft pick anyways, you know what I mean? But they got some issues. And as Jay mentioned, with Stevenson going down with a high ankle sprain, that just puts more workload on Ezekiel Elliott, who's – I think a lot of people just kind of forgot he's been there, to be honest. And their wide receiver group, or just guys who you've never really heard of if you don't follow the team, beside Juju, their offense is just, it's rough. It's rough. I feel bad for the defense, man. They've been putting in work, but their offense just ain't been rewarding them. I mean, you get shut out. That's pretty demoralizing. As for Pittsburgh, they got a solid program. They've really turned it around since they got rid of Matt Canada a few weeks ago. But as you mentioned, fork in the road with Kenny Pickett being down for a little bit. In steps Mitchell Trubisky, who, I would say, would you say he's a veteran at this point? He's been in the league since 2017, 18. He's been around the block for a good bit. He knows what's going on in the league. I'm not saying he's going to, break records or anything in this game, but I would definitely take him in a heartbeat over Bailey Zappi. I just think it's going to be a whatever throwaway game. Give me Pittsburgh taking the W in this one. I'll go 21-7. I'll have New England getting on the board this week, but giving up a few more points. So that's been my final thoughts on that one. As always, Jay McLovin, Dustin Reese. It's a pleasure, my friends, talking some Thursday Night Football, talking some sports with y'all. We'll talk to y'all again on another live episode, and we'll see you guys in a future video. See you soon.